The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Welcome back to the studio. Will Anderson. It's just great to have you back again.
Great to see you, Will.
You don't fly here frequently.
No, I don't, but it's nice to be in the studio. I appreciate it. I actually drove down this morning, which is bad news for me because I think that Mick is down taking money out of my car. It's like he's taking money out of everybody's pockets.
I never get a hire car when I travel around Australia. I'll do it overseas in Australia. I got asked to, if I wanted a hire car when I was doing all these Big Brother appearances back in the day for Queensland, and I wouldn't do it because I'm frightened of the tolls. I just didn't understand it.
So you're lucky here we don't have any. So it's not a problem.
Tolls,
I don't know.
Well, I'm here for 2 weeks.
I don't think you used to throw the money in the bucket, and I was like, what the hell?
2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks. That's why I'm here.
the last time
We don't ever have you in the studio.
Yeah, normally what happens with Eastern States comedians is they fly in maybe on a Thursday, they do Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, out.
Yes.
And you're here for 2 weeks.
Here for 2 weeks. I'm doing the Perth Fringe.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my improvised show, what you're talking about, Will. And so it's a completely different show every night. And the thing about it is I talk to the crowd a lot.
Yes.
And so I've done it in really big rooms and it can be really fun, but there's a lot of repeating. So if somebody is talking to me, I need to repeat so people can hear.
Oh, right.
So I found that the perfect size of the rooms is somewhere between 150 and 300.
Yes.
Everyone can kind of hear and see what is going on so the shows really work. But that means I have to come for 2 weeks to make the money.
So how do you do a different show? Where do your thought starters come, or you've already written them down for different shows?
No. As in, like, it's all completely made up in the room. Like, so it all happens. It's with so the whole idea of the room is these days everything is so shared, and you can watch everything everywhere, and you can't go to a comedy club without there being a camera in the room, even in this radio studio.
There's 100. Look at these. Look how many cameras are.
Cameras everywhere.
There's probably more cameras in your radio studio now than there were in the Big Brother house.
As you look around, we'll get a camera shot from each one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8.
Did you take in this one here, Nathan?
9 cam as well.
You know they used to make Seinfeld with 3. The entire series of the world's greatest sitcom was made with 3 cameras.
Yeah, but they were funny. We've got to overcompensate. Come on.
And so it is one of those things now where everything is being filmed, everything is for distribution.
Yes.
And I get that, that's fine. But what I really wanted to do was something that is just for the people who are there that night.
That's magical.
It is for nobody else. And so what I do, Shaun, is then I take the ingredients that are in the room. It's like instead of going to the shops for ingredients, you just go to your cupboard and you say, what have I got in here tonight?
Great.
What can I make with what is in here tonight? So you start to get to know people. You talk to the crowd. You get the vibe, and then the show starts to develop as you do that. It's amazing. It's so fun.
The thing about it is some people don't know how interesting they are. When I first started here, I travelled around doing Wheelie Bin a Fortune, the game that Nova invented. And so I was on the back of a truck travelling around to people's houses. You'd spin a prize, you'd win, if you spun 3 bins, if you won a prize, it might be in one of the 3 bins. The other 3 bins had rubbish. And if they spun the rubbish, I'd dump the rubbish in the yard and leave. It was actually terrible. And then this girl was standing there and I said, do you have anything interesting about you? And she goes, no, not really. And then I said, do you want to take your sunglasses off for a photo? And she goes, I can't. And I said, why? And she goes, I don't have any pupils, which is the black bit. Pupil? Iris. Yeah, I don't have any irises, no colour around her eyes. So her pupils have no control about dilating sun. So, and I said, I've never, and so she took her glasses off and her eyes were just black. And I'd never seen that before, but she didn't think that wasn't anything interesting. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
People have the most amazing stories, but also I learn so much about the world. So just the other night in Sydney, I was doing the show and there was a guy in the front row. I asked him what he did for a living. He said, I'm a singer for classical music. I was like, I didn't even know classical music had singers. No. Like, to me, it's all instrumental.
Yeah, it's like orchestral.
You just up the back like, like unless
it's opera.
But it turns out that so I said, would you be happy to sing something for us?
Yes.
And so suddenly in this show, he's singing something, and the best way I can describe it is, it was so ethereal that it made you want to gather hobbits and go on a quest. And suddenly you're like, this is a comedy show, but in the middle of it, this just amazing moment is happening where everyone in the world, like, the great thing about this show, I've been doing it in Sydney for about 12 years, and people come back all the time because it's
different every time.
And I love that, 12 years, and then when it comes to Perth, that's about right.
I know, but like if the same people are coming back every time, then you've got the same ingredients.
Oh, after a while, this is literally true. In Sydney, this is the only, because people say, is it hard to do the show? The only time it's hard is if you look down the front row and you're like, I've talked to
damn
you.
again.
I've talked to you.
That guy wants to sing again.
You come up with the flavours for chips, and people think you're Santa Claus at Christmas, and you're going through. But the great thing about it is, because one of the things I love about comedy, and I've always loved about comedy, is this idea that there can be all these people who in the foyer would think they have nothing in common with each other.
Yes, that's right.
And then we gather them all in a room and we make a show together. That's the way I think about it. And then years later, you can come to me. You could come to me and say, of my touring usual show, and say, I came and saw your show, and I wouldn't be able to necessarily tell which night you came and saw the show. But with this show, I can just have, I literally had someone 2 weeks ago come and remind me of a show 5 years ago. He goes, I was at a show you did in like Brunswick Heads on the North Coast, and the people in the front row, they looked after Airbnbs, and you asked them what's the weirdest thing that they'd ever found in an Airbnb, and they said just that week they'd had like a really large bottle of lube and a blindfold and a butt plug left there, and they didn't know whether to put the butt plug in the lost and found.
Yeah, do you keep it? Do you wash it? What happens?
I mean, of all places, if anything,
do you ring the people and say you left stuff behind?
Yeah.
It looks like a post for an old fence. Just a knob is broken off the top of it. Don't answer Bubba.
Yeah, it's weird. We've got 3 contact names: Sean Combs, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. Which one is it?
Which one?
I love improv.
So
Improv stuff. I went to Amsterdam once, and there was an improv show, and I went along to that.
Well, that is the thing you do in Amsterdam.
Yeah, so I was laughing at all kinds, and you had to walk in and take your clothes off.
What sort of improv show did you go to?
Yeah,
I went to both. Casablanca was the one with the pink elephant. That was improv.
You know, red like gags.
Yeah.
But they asked for the audience to get involved by writing down something, and then they were able to act.
So
it
Sean
out
wrote his phone number. And
I wrote down, let's go and see what them Duke boys are up to off the Dukes of Hazzard. That was just the line. And then they read it out.
Solid topical material.
It was a good line at the time.
I watched that show and I can't remember that line.
What was the time? 1950?
Pretty close.
They'd never use the doors. They'd always just get in the windows.
Yes.
Well, you know that.
And we used to try it as kids and you get screamed at.
The General Lee was the name of the car.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, this is
That's where shorts are called Daisy Dukes. That's where they came from.
Daisy Dukes.
If you don't know what we're talking about,
we're
talking about a show that's centered around 2 young guys that sort of live in American out the west.
In the South.
And they've got an orange Monaro, was it? With black,
it would have been
with
a
black
Camaro,
racing.
probably, but yes, you're right.
And it had the Confederate flag on it. Like it's problematic.
That's
problematic in many ways.
Stand by today's standards.
Hey, you love comedy. What do you think about America and Donald Trump being voted in again?
What?
This is my thing about it.
What a way to find out.
This is my thing about it.
Please, no spoilers. I've taped the whole election campaign. I got my fingers crossed. I really think Joe Biden's going to get in again.
So the thing about it is, with Donald, the thing that can be corrected with Donald is his skin colour, because he's I know it's weird.
Yep.
I don't know if you noticed, but it's a bit orange.
I like it.
Cheesily.
You're the leader of the free world, really. You're the leader of the free world.
Yes.
So we have Revlon, Maybelline. We've got can't he conscript all of these people? You the Olay people, Sean, the body shop people.
That's right.
Get together and go, okay, let's work this problem out because it can be solved.
Yeah, well,
Or do you think he leans into it now?
Well, the problem is that we don't know what's under the orange.
No, I mean, it's a great point.
Yeah, but
Like,
what if he's like
it doesn't
mauve
have
or
to be
something?
orange.
Yeah, what if he's wearing blackface and he's covered with orange? And he's actually like a human Jaffa. What about that? Have we considered
Those are
that?
things we haven't considered.
He's like a 100-year-old face that's been painted again and again and again.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Sabrina Carpenter is everything, don't you
Isn't
think,
she
Will?
just?
I actually, you know what? I've got it. Here's the thing, because I'm 51 years old now, so
Yeah.
I'm like,
So young.
I try to keep up with like modern people.
the kids.
You just don't know. I was like, I listen to the Sabrina Carpenter album. I like it. I like the Charlie XCX. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh yeah, I'm getting into this.
You're having your
Like,
Brat Summer.
Yeah, I'm having my Brat Summer. Right, I'm into all of them. You know, I know them. Doechii, Yochi, Gloria Jeans. I know all the.
Gloria Jeans is really good.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're one of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
By that I mean old.
I mean, to be honest, all the old people found out about Sabrina Carpenter when she, was performing with Taylor.
Yeah, when they took their kids to Taylor Swift.
And she'd been around for 10 years before that.
Yes, released like 6 albums or
I
something.
know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
Overnight sensation.
And she's still dating the guy from, what was that show? Was that movie, the Netflix one, where he has sex with the open grave? With the grave?
No, they've split, yeah.
Did you see that one? Oh, Saltburn. Did you ever watch Saltburn?
No,
and the grave scene?
It. No, but I've heard about it.
But there is murder on the dance floor.
That was improvised, right? So when he makes love to the grave, to the fresh grave, that was improvised. That was his choice.
That's a bold choice for a bit.
I hope the
Like, how about, hey guys, I know this is a bit of a funeral thing, but how about, just for fun, you've got the one you need, but let's just do a fun one.
Imagine if he doesn't say anything, right? And then the boom goes
and then
going.
everybody's just like,
what's he doing?
See?
So, but you've done that in your improv show, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, you'll know I'm in trouble.
First you go out with a shovel. And then
You guys have seen Saltburn, right?
sweet, sweet love.
What is he planting?
First 45 minutes, I'm just digging it, right? I was like, don't
And
worry.
then you
it's
slowly
got a
unbutton your
big
clothes.
payoff.
And you're like, this is not metaphorical.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
The one and only Will Anderson is in the house. His show, What You Talking About, Will, it's all improvised, different every single night. Snap the tickets up. It's happening at the Comedy Hub at Johnny Fox's, which is a Fringe World venue.
Yep.
Great, intimate. That's a fun room.
Yeah, so, well, I haven't played it before, so tonight will be my first night. 160 seats. So, but the thing I've found with this show, I've done it, I did it at the Enmore in Sydney, which is like 1,600 seats.
Yes.
And it was a fun experience to go out and just like make up a show in front of that many people. But one of the fun things about the show is that I'm talking to the audience.
Yes.
And so I like being in a room where basically people can hear what the person in the audience is saying without me having to
100%.
repeat it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it just takes that rhythm out of the show where I have to repeat the thing for it then to be funny. Whereas if everybody can hear and see what's going on.
Yeah.
So, but that means also I get to have 2 weeks in Perth rather than just the usual couple of days that I normally have.
And the Wednesday nights and Thursday nights are the ones to get to.
Yes.
Get on board. Well, with every show being different, are you conscious of the time you're up there? And do you keep a watch at all?
Yeah, so the show, people will be like, why is the show 70 minutes, not the usual 60? And that is because I promised people 60 minutes of quality entertainment.
So however long it takes to get there.
And then the last 10 minutes is Will packing it down, but you have to stay there for
Like
that.
over a couple of hours, but there's 60 good ones there.
Sometimes, sometimes I'm done at 60 and I'm like, well, I nailed that. And sometimes 61, sometimes I need that extra 10.
Sometimes you've been amazing and it's only 45.
That's right. Sometimes I'll have to follow people out to the street and just yell a few more things at them just to make sure.
So how long left have you got? Still entire 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to know where to go? Because you haven't been here for so long.
No, yeah. What's going on in Perth at the
Okay,
moment that I
well,
should
my
be going
favourite
to?
sandwich shop at the moment.
Oh, yeah, I love a sandwich.
Dude, is two slices in Scarborough.
In Scarborough.
So
But you've got a car, you'll be fine.
And it'll look like there'll probably be a massive surfers there and like people straight from the beach. But I mean, if you get there just before 11 to get your sandwich, they're focaccias, right?
Yes.
And they are so generously filled and so authentic. And then you cut that. You have to you have half for lunch and half for dinner.
But also
That's
they're
what
Perth
mine's
prices.
That's
so
what my mum always used to
eye-watering.
tell me though as well.
No, they're all right. They're about 22 $22 or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you think that's two sandwiches,
sandwich.
you can split that with someone.
You used to be able to fill up my car for $22.
Yeah, on paper though, it's one sandwich. I know what you're saying because you won't be able to eat both, but it's like a sandwich.
No,
for
yes, a
$22.
sandwich, but that is actually quite normal when you look at it. But when you pick up the bag and it's heavy,
Expensive sandwiches are really the only culture that white men have. That's what I heard someone say recently.
have you ever picked up a sandwich and got some weight to that? Like,
a good weight.
Yeah. So that's a good sandwich place.
Yeah,
Now,
so it's got two slices.
What about
and,
places
and
to
you know,
drink,
you know what I like because I think this is really good. That the big sandwich too. Because as my mum always said, you got to have half the sandwich and wait to see if the sandwich kicks in.
Yes.
See how strong the sandwich was before you have the other half of the sandwich. Right?
That's
She's
drugs.
really
You're getting that's like ecstasy.
Same. It works. It works. The theory works.
That's ecstasy. Well,
Hang on. So you didn't mean I
You
didn't
never
have
have two sandwiches off the bat either.
Are you saying to me then that I shouldn't have had to smuggle those sandwiches into the big day house?
Places
I
you
could have
put
just
them.
taken them in.
You could have.
That is horrible.
You had that
hell.
panini up your bum.
get your sandwiches tested at a festival before you go in.
Oh, no, guys, we've got curried egg here.
Hang on, mate. That is not avocado. That is guacamole.
Yes.
It's guacamole, man. It's been cut. It's been cut. It's not straight avo.
No wonder the dog's sniffing loving it so much. Oh, well.
All right, so that's a sandwich shop. Anywhere to recommend for him, Sean?
Yeah.
Oh, where do I go?
I like a sandwich. What about a gelato? I love a gelato.
Oh, there's a place in Northbridge that everyone lines up for.
Well, the one in Fremantle's Yochi, which you've
that's,
I like
frozen
the Yochi,
yogurt.
though.
Frozen yogurt.
You know what I like about the Yochi, though? It isn't that the greatest con of all time in regard to, because it fools you.
Yes.
The little sign out the front where on the Yochi everyone's put their fresh fruit and their granola, and then you go inside and you're like, the snake's alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Chocolate sauce.
And everything's done by weight, of course, when you're paying for a whole lot of kids.
Yeah, and you go
find that.
and the cups are big, so you
Big
overfill.
cups.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Is there something called
Messina.
But that's a Sydney brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're
I bet there's a Messina. I like a
there's
Messina,
another one. There's another.
Do you know what I like at Messina? They have different flavours at Messina, obviously. They have one called Coneception, which is like ice cream cone flavoured ice cream, right? And so it's got chunks of the ice cream cone in the ice cream. So it's called Coneception.
Yes.
But I love that ice cream, but I will only eat it in a cup.
Because there's too many cones, and you don't do that anymore. There is a place here. It's where a lot of the Asian community go, and it's in the city. And it's a little side shop. It's like a little dairy place that sells ice cream or whatever. But they've got because I tried it overseas once, and I was amazed to find that there was one here. And they've got an ice cream there called cereal milk. So basically, it's like the milk that's left over after your cornflakes.
Yes.
And they put a cornflake on top. It is so delicious. But it's the same place where you think you're ordering something with cream on top, and it's not. It's cheese.
Oh.
It's foamed cheese.
No, thank you. Is that in Northbridge?
By interesting, you mean wrong,
memory?
right?
By memory, is it in Northbridge or something?
No. It's in the city, and it's on okay.
You know that street.
It's like a chat with my dad about the new improvements they've made in my local community. There's a bakery now, mate. It's down by the old cricket ground.
that thing with the
Street that post is on. That post is on in that. You know?
Yeah.
Not Murray Street. Not Murray Street.
No, the big flash hotel there.
Barrack Street.
Yeah, Barrack Street. From Barrack Street. Yeah, just over the road from Petition.
So we just had to workshop.
When are we back on air? This is a great
we haven't been on air. Hey, we haven't been on air the whole morning. This is a bait and switch. Honestly, we've got the day off. This is just to us.
Oh, Will thinks he's been on the radio.
Have you heard a caller? That was start.
Well, thank you for coming in and making
Our contracts ended last year.
fake radio show. They just don't know how to tell us.
Still coming in every day, like one of those old guys who dresses in a suit and takes his suitcase down to the park.
Exactly. Go to comedy.com.au for all the info on Will's tour, but hurry up because it'll sell out because he's that good, you know.
Yeah.
Come back and see us again soon, Will.
Thanks, Will.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Farewell, Will Anderson.
Had a good day, haven't we?
We did kind of farewell you already, but then we're like, no, stick around.
Now,
We like talking
Will
to you.
was going to promise
I've
to...
got my backpack on.
Yeah, I know.
He really wants
almost made it out of the studio.
What's in your backpack?
What's in my backpack? Is that what we're doing?
Have a look. Yeah, I just want to see. Because
What have we got?
I'm happy to show you what's in my backpack.
here we go.
Normally we got you on Skype and we're seeing what's in the background.
That's true.
Yeah,
I
real
do
level.
actually like to have a look at that. So I've got my headphones.
it's real
Yeah,
level.
lovely.
Headphones are in there.
Show me these. These
radio
are
guy.
these Sony? What are these?
No, they're like those Apple ones.
Oh, I don't like them.
Onyx Storm, you've been on Book
No,
Talk.
that's fine. I've got that. They're in there. Now,
That's a very fashionable book
what I
with
have
the
here.
kids.
So this is like the new sort of
Book Talk.
Hunger Games
Yes.
type
Is it?
book. It's
Yes.
not Hunger Games. It's a dragon book for teenagers,
Yes,
basically.
so
And-
TikTok has
Yeah,
made this
no.
book
Yes.
a
Yes.
massive hit.
It's the biggest hit. It just sold at Christmas 5 times what the final Hunger Games book
Yeah.
sold.
It's very thick, everyone. The movie will be coming soon, I'm guessing.
I started, so this is the third in the series.
Yes.
Yes.
I started reading the first one because my 14-year-old niece was reading it.
Great.
And I thought, well, that'll be nice. Something fun that the
That you
two
can
of
talk
us
about.
can
Yeah.
be reading together. And that was very fun until, don't look at the little notes that are in my book.
Nathan's losing his mind.
Just found a
If it's private, I'm not saying it.
private note in my
But
book.
wow, what a great post-it note I did. And who was it from? And I'll never tell anyone because I've got integrity.
Nathan, he zipped his bag up pretty quickly after that.
And he's out the door.
You know what the thing is? There are a couple of little notes in the books that have been left in there, and I'm glad that's the one you found. So that one.
Where are the dick pics?
Yeah, that one was a little PG. Where some of the
That's
others
nice.
maybe,
That's a nice.
Well, you're clearly enjoying it, eh? The series.
So, well,
the poster, yes.
So here's the thing, Sean. So it's mostly sort of like for teenage girls.
Yes.
This
That's
book.
my wheelhouse.
And the reason that I was reading it was because my teenage niece was into it. Thought this is a good bonding moment between the two of us.
Yeah.
Until I got to this new thing that is apparently in these style of books, which is the 10 pages of hardcore pornography that they just describe. I was like,
they describe the penis.
They just
everything
they
in detail.
don't use the P word. There's a hard C.
Yes.
What they describe that, and I was like, this should be a sealed section. I don't want to know that my 14-year-old niece and I are reading the same thing.
They should be behind a
Who
curtain
do you
somewhere.
think gets more freaked out? You knowing she's read it or her knowing you've read it? Do you know what I mean? It's like watching sex scenes with your parents on TV. It's awful.
You know when you have a flashback to a conversation you've had with someone and you has a whole new context?
Yes.
Because she had read further ahead than I had when we were talking about it at Christmas. And
some of the stuff she was saying.
I'm really enjoying the book. Are you enjoying the book? And she says, oh, it gets a bit romantic.
You're like, looking forward to
And you're like, that's not
I
romance.
think you need to tell her what romance is and what romance isn't, just so she's not confused.
wow.
Wow, what an eye-opener.
Shouldn't do that.
For everybody, apparently.
Is it good?
Yeah, I am enjoying it, though. Yeah, it's
Especially the sex scene. Thank you, Will.
Thanks so much, Will.
We'll be putting up on Instagram later on exactly where Will's staying in case you want to pop by and say hello. Sam, follow him.
Dressed as a dragon, maybe. I don't know. His shows, comedy.com.au/tour/Will Anderson. What you talking about, Will, is the name of the show. Ross, hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Ross.
Plenty of cameras in studio. Maybe we can get a zoom up of that post-it note. I've heard of dirty text. I've never heard of a dirty post-it note, Will.
That's how they began, mate.
I'm old school, Ross.
Used to be dirty town criers. Jenny!
Fax that
You
through.
like my penis?
the dirty homing pigeons.
All right, you guys are done. Thank you, Tay.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
It's always a wild ride when this man walks in the studio. His show, this is the most appropriate show name I think I've ever seen. Ross Noble's Cranium of Curiosities. You can get tickets from rossnoble.com, but you're in town till Feb 9, which is nice, doing shows at Planet Royale. Ross, welcome back.
Hello.
Hey, Ross.
It's always a joy.
Oh, thanks, Ross.
I came in here and I thought, last time I was here you had a crazy vending machine.
Yes, that's true in the
You
corner,
don't have
yes.
anything. And
No.
then, what I'm...
Look down, we put it in a trap
Yeah.
door.
Oh, lovely. I wondered why you'd put this noose around.
No, you fall down into Commonwealth Bank.
See what's funny?
That's our deposit.
While the bus is
Yeah,
ringing.
and then when you're in the bank, apparently now, like with the interest rates, if you get turned down for a mortgage, then you fall
Even
further into the basement. It's just a pile of people who can't make the credit.
Well, this is sort of like the basement and the title of your show. Curiosities. I love
Yes.
them. Don't you? You know what a curiosity, Sean, is? So basically, it's
Well,
not an
killed the
antique.
cat.
A curiosity is like a thing that you would find in an old dusty shop and it's collected, or it might be something made out of a whale bone.
It's actually
And
called a
it's
curiosity.
and a lot of times they're one-offs. And
And
curiosities are very interesting.
Or they're just weird things in Ross's head.
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
Yes.
I think
So that's a good explanation for your head.
so fed up of people just going, why have you called the show this? And you just, what's the show about? And you go, well, it's about, I never thought of the curiosity killed the cat.
Yes.
I wonder if there's, do you think there's a selection of serial killers who come to the show? Because they always say, don't the serial killers, they start with...
Yeah, doing animals.
Yeah.
Maybe they've come along and go, oh, fantastic, at the end of the show.
I have too, yeah.
I've got a
Maybe
whole
I'll
new-
kill someone now.
Yeah, I've got a whole new list of people I want to kill.
I love serial killer movies and shows. Anyone else get into them, by the way?
I think they're quite popular.
I don't.
Yes.
No, I don't
You're
really.
looking
I
at
don't
me in a
really.
particular way, Nat.
I like when someone's in the house. I like when finding out, you're getting a call and someone's in the house and the murderer's there. I like those sort of ones. I like it when a whole town, you realise a whole town's going to murder you. Murdering children, they terrify me. And then people that are coming to murder you, Ross, but they don't run after you. You're running and they just walk because they know they're going to get you.
Oh. I like the fact that you specified it was a serial killer thing, because when you went, I like it when people's in the house. I thought you were watching
He just needs
Selling
some
Houses
company.
Australia. It's just literally 3 people.
I know, I was just
wandering around going, someone's going to get murdered. And you were just sat watching telly going, nah, they're just in a house.
People get murdered in houses. Google it.
That's a good idea for a serial killer thing, isn't it? People who are on a show where they're going to buy
Other
a
people's
house.
houses.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, this is the new mystery house. What do you think of this? And you hear, and there's a cupboard with a padlock.
You know what it's called? Home open, coffin closed.
Needs a bit of work.
You thought you'd solve that. Nathan looks at everyone like, yeah. And Ross is just hosting down. What's your curiosity at the moment, though, Ross? Have you focused on something?
Cuttlefish.
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 What, making jewellery?
Have you got a budgie that needs to sharpen its beak?
But that's the mad thing, isn't it? The fact that cuttlefish...
Squid or cuttlefish? They're the same, aren't they, relatively?
Yeah, to me, it's just a cocky thing. I need to give it a cocky.
Squid are the same as cuttlefish?
Well, yeah, squid are a bit smaller. Cuttlefish can be bigger, but they taste exactly the same, pretty much.
Oh, my God.
Do they?
Tell him the difference.
No, look.
Come on.
Come on now. It's a cuttlefish quiz. You can win. Yeah, with cuttlefish squid have got tentacles, and cuttlefish have got like
wings.
Yeah, they've got like little sort of sidey bits on them,
Like flippery things, little fins.
You know what I want to do? I've got upset. I tried this.
We're all googling cuttlefish now.
Yeah,
Cuttlefish, it's exactly.
I only know the hard
Don't
bit.
eat cuttlefish.
Why not?
One of nature's greatest wonders. A cuttlefish. This is a mad thing, right?
Yep.
A cuttlefish can divide it like half of its body.
Yuck, I wouldn't eat that anyway.
Half of its body can go one colour to attract a mate.
Yeah.
And the other half of it, and at the same time, the other half of its body can not only change colour but can change shape in order to like go spiky and red.
Oh, so defend somebody off.
Oh, I thought you were going to say one side can attract one sex and the other one can attract the other sex, and now have a bisexual threesome.
Well, it can't.
That's where your mind went, was it?
Well, no.
If it were, look, the thing is, if it wanted to, it certainly could. Like,
does it have a spa though to invite people back to loosen up the situation, or?
It's spa like a
Yeah,
a spa.
like, you know,
I thought you meant the convenience store. A spa.
Oh, see, we don't have them here.
What's a spa?
It's SPAR. It's like a small supermarket in the UK.
No one says it. Speak Australian,
around
please.
the world.
You've been here for a while, Ross. You should know this.
I've never come across a spa, have you?
No.
All across Europe.
I've seen them in,
Without wanting to hose it down first, no.
Yeah.
But that's why it's in New Zealand they call, like, just going into the deli, they call it the milk bar.
Victoria does too.
Yeah, milk bar. And straight away I think I can get a milkshake there. Can you? Probably
No.
not.
And you can't really find one anymore anyway.
And you can't be milked either.
Oh.
Don't go in there.
Milk?
expecting that.
Why? Right. Sean's going in there today. He's really excited.
Yeah, so there you go.
So cuttlefish, eh?
That's just when you said, what are you obsessed with at the moment? I want to go to Whyalla and swim with the cuttlefish.
Can you do that? Are there wild cuttlefish in Whyalla? Just
Who's going
like
to stop me?
I don't see the swim with the cuttlefish tours going off.
Is Whyalla a hotbed of cuttlefish activity? Or
Yeah,
what?
it's the cuttlefish.
Capital.
Can I just point
Isn't it
out?
the capital of mullets in Australia, the Whyalla Trim?
Yeah, it's not your classiest town.
Well, mullet is also a fish, isn't it? So
Yeah,
that
that's
threw
true.
me off there.
Oh,
sorry.
God.
She was talking
No,
about
he was talking about hair. Yeah.
Just,
Oh my
Whyalla
God,
Trim, mate.
You know what this is like? This is like one of David Attenborough's nightmares.
like shaken up.
It's just like, what is going on? No, this has got nothing to do with the show. I'm doing a show, but it's got nothing to do with it. Don't turn up expecting cuttlefish.
There'll be no cuttlefish facts. Yeah.
Have you heard of free diving?
Yeah, of course.
Jesus.
Have we heard of it? Wow, how
That was all
condescending.
my summer growing up. That's all we did, free dived.
Yeah. Well,
He wouldn't pay for anything.
I sort of got into that, and I'm trying to do it, but the person that does the free diving here in Perth has not been responding to my...
Oh, is that right?
You know why? Because they're so good. They're still down there.
a horrible feeling that somebody's drowned.
It's just really, really good. Big lung capacity.
Yes.
Is that the one where you're going down just for your lung capacity?
Yeah, you're wearing a weight belt to make sure you can sing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so you've done it properly, not just like, yeah. So I've got into it, and I want to. Well,
How deep have you gone?
I've got
2 metres.
Did the Bee Gees just walk in? Oh no, how deep have you gone? I thought you said how deep is your love.
Also,
I've done 10 metres. I've gone down.
Oh, that's pretty deep.
I've gone down 10 metres, but I'm rubbish at it, and I'm and I thought I'll try it here, and then been trying to for the last. I'm here for 2 weeks.
What are you doing it for? What are you doing it for? Is there a reason?
Cuttlefish. I want to see.
So you just want to get down as deep as you can to be just with the cuttlefish.
At one with the
Yes.
cuttlefish.
Yes.
Are you worried this might be your final little thing? Because it sounds like it could be dangerous. Free driving is dangerous.
Yeah, I've seen the Big Blue.
It's
I know what
dangerous.
happens.
Well, it just depends on how you do it.
I know, but I'm wondering if you're down there and you realise, oh my God, this is it, I'm going to die. And you go, was it worth it?
And then a
I
cuttlefish
bet,
swims
yeah.
up and you go, yes.
Yeah, the magical experience of swimming with the whale, Sean, is like, oh, that's amazing. Cuttlefish, I mean, look at them. That's disgusting.
They
That's
taste
not
delicious.
It is.
Stop eating cuttlefish. I want a free time with cuttlefish. Yeah, but that's like saying, oh, I want to. If you wanted to go up in a helicopter to see an eagle.
I wouldn't go up to see the eagle.
Let it come down and see you.
Oh, see, yeah.
Oh, mate, we've got to find one. We'll get going.
So what are you saying? I should entice a cuttlefish out of the
Yes,
water so I
yes.
don't have to free dive?
And I know that you can because I've seen my nana's cocky eating one.
Right. What did it? Was the cuttlefish dead, or did she train the cocky, release the cocky, and it
Dove
flew
into the water. 10 metres down.
With a weight belt.
Free diving.
And then the cuttlefish became the shape of the cocky, and then came back
Whilst
out.
having sex on the other side. Yes, they do.
Sean, he didn't have to make it dirty.
Sure they do, mate.
Come on.
Why? It's a family show.
Ross Noble sticking
that's why-
around. He's
that's why
probably
I'm-
against his better judgment. Special guest in the studio. So good to have him back again,
you know
Ross
what?
Noble.
I've got a problem with that song.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's all like, oh, come on. It's
Yeah.
all like a big drinking thing.
Yeah.
And he uses the term tipsy. Do you know what I mean? It's like, where we go to a boys, we're going to get down the board. Oh, line up the whiskey. Well, I'm just going to have enough to be tipsy.
Responsibility of alcohol.
It's just like everybody in the bucket and tips. You know what I mean? When do you ever hear somebody go, oh, I better stop now, I'm getting tipsy?
Well, maybe with
Nana.
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 After
Yeah,
she
Nana.
got into the port.
She's had a couple of sherries.
Exactly. I haven't seen the musical video for that, but I don't. Is it a load
The
of
music
Nana?
video is he's just sitting there just like singing and he's just like,
tipsy.
it's really cool just like bopping along dancing.
And then what? There's a bunch of nanas.
No, it's just a guy in the back sort of like agreeing with him.
Right?
At the front, they seem to be out front of a pub or something like that.
Well, it would
love
make
it.
sense.
I think maybe a barn.
If the musical video was it was a booze bus and
all the people getting pulled in.
and they would just pull up like that, and it was both a fun music video but also an important lesson about the dangers of drink driving, and just some bloke there just going, I'm just a bit tipsy, and the cop just going, well, I'm sorry, but that is, and then the music stops and it goes, you know, like on RBT.
Yes.
Yes.
And then it goes
Yes.
to the fresh top.
And then it flips into day drunk. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
I tell you what, I thought this. I went past the booze bus the other day, and I thought, oh my God, because everything was stopped down, and you had the booze bus there, and I thought, what would you go perfectly with that? A food truck. Don't you reckon? A food truck should follow the booze bus around, because those people have not only got
Kebab.
caught,
They want a
they're
kebab.
starving.
Yes.
And a kebab.
Oh, they should have one right after the, when you go to the drive-through bottle shop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, the booze.
I'm going to show you this, right? This is please don't read out my address.
No, I won't.
on air.
Yeah.
But I'm going
Okay, so your driver's
I'll
license?
show you my driver's license, right? And when I see a booze, because I don't drink, right? I see a booze bus and I go, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Because I know it's going to come up. You know, there's no way.
Yeah.
I don't drink, so
No.
it's not going to.
You're not breaking the law.
It's not, yeah. And they go, sometimes where they go, oh, can we see your license, right?
Yeah.
And then I show them my license. And
Are you allowed to take your license photo like that?
describe that.
Okay, so I can't even.
First of all, we have to stand there
He's
and not
pulling a
smile.
face. His one eyebrow's up higher than the other. He's sort of looking down, but trying to cross his eyes. It looks like he's been caught doing something
And look
with
at
a
the
sausage
hair.
dog.
Look at what I've done with the hair.
And the hair is insane.
Yeah.
That gives.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of got a what do you call it, a ramp? It's a bit of Ace Ventura type of style, but with long hair.
So did you pull that face or go in with that face so they were too frightened to ask is that your face or not?
So what happened was they got the picture.
I mean, it is your face.
I know, but like, you'd have to, because I thought they'd say, no, you can't pull a facial expression. You'd have to go in like this.
Well, no, they got the camera out.
Yeah. He's having a good old laugh.
Have you shown that on your socials?
No, because I don't want anyone to see my address.
No, but you can block that out. There's a crop bit on your phone.
Yeah. So I went in there. And they lined up the picture, and she was like, "Okay, we'll just take the picture now." And so, and I pulled the face.
Yes.
And she just went, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" She said, "You can't. They're not going to accept that."
But that's how I smile.
But yeah. And I said to her, I said, "Well, here's the thing. In these times, in these more enlightened times of political correctness, are they going to send the picture back and say, we're not accepting this? You look gormless."
I know, but also,
That's very
if you
funny.
got pulled over, that's what you would look like.
No, but that's what I do. So basically, I pull up, and if they go, "Have you got your license?" and they look down at the picture, and then while they're looking at the picture, I go, "Bang," and then they look up, and they see my face. They go, "Oh, that's him."
Yeah. But it always confused me that driver's licenses, you're allowed to smile, passports, you're not. You're happy on holidays.
Yeah.
You're not happy when you're being pulled over by the police. So they've got the faces wrong.
What does your passport? What's your passport photo look like?
Oh, yeah, no, I've got my passport.
Serious.
My last passport photograph, I had shorter hair, so it was spiked up.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. And I was slightly cross-eyed in that one. That's a good one, isn't it? That's another good one.
What is this, a library card?
That's
This is open water diving. This looks like the definition of the bends.
Yeah.
It's a cautionary tale.
Well, that's what I want, because the trouble is, though, is if you're coming up from the, that's why I need to learn to free dive, because if you're scubaing, then your eyes are all bulgy, when they pull you out the water, they go, hang on, is that him? Is that not him? So on my diving license,
a friend of mine got his Costco card, and I was there when he's getting his photo ID done, and I'm just in the background. I'm a photo bomb, so I'm always on his Costco card.
But that's why I learned to dive, so purely
to get another photo.
So when I pull up at the booze bus and they say, "Can we see your driving license?" I'll go, "There you go," and then they go, "That's your diving license."
Sorry, I've got some water in my ear.
You know the Archibald Art Prize? Someone should do that off of your license photo. Ross Noble.
But you know why has nobody, not just the picture, the Archibald, why haven't they done it, the portrait, and then the driving licence as well?
Yes, it makes sense, doesn't it?
So you see the
the whole lot.
Without your address.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously.
Yeah.
In fact,
which
I'm gonna enter the Archibald
Yes, it's a great idea.
And I'm going to do it actual size of the license.
Yes.
Tiny. So the judges have to really get in.
They're going to be
Is that?
They will see that as a masterpiece.
That's actually,
it's different.
Well,
They'll
the
be
whole
like,
series
see
about
what he's done here.
I can't remember what period it was, but they're all done on cigar box lids.
Yes.
So they're all that tiny. Yeah, I think it was Australian art movement. Yeah. So anyway, God,
when you go
think
to
about the things you've learnt today. Art,
Yes, cuttlefish.
cuttlefish, and God, you're like reading a book.
Ross, how long are you sticking around for?
What, now or in Perth?
No, now.
I can hang
He's got
around.
somewhere to go.
He's got somewhere to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all good.
Everyone's got somewhere to go, don't we?
It's just to another less important radio station. Don't worry.
Natalie! Natalie Locke. She said that, not me.
Lord.
I think it's very important. Sean Matt.
Well, you know what? I insisted I came in here first.
See? That's the way it's done.
Yeah, that's right.
Ross Noble's show Cranium of Curiosities is happening until Feb 9 at Planet Royale. Check it out. It's always a wild ride. You could go every night and it'd be a different show. Really,
I would
wouldn't it?
imagine.
You could come every night and play the pinball machines.
Yes.
It's one of the most relaxed audiences I've ever had, because you have to walk through an arcade.
Yes, to get into it. Yeah.
They've got good food there too.
Yeah, they do.
It's a cinema, comfy seats and air conditioning.
Yes, it is.
So even if you don't want to see the show,
Come for the
it's
aircon.
been hot.
Exactly.
in and
RossNoble.com is where you can go to get tickets and do it. You sell out pretty much, don't you?
Yeah.
You're very popular.
Get in quick, because we've only got, I think, 6 shows left. So yeah.
And make sure that you let yourself be known to the people that are working there if you know anything about cuttlefish or free diving.
That's
Because it's pretty important right now. That's Ross's cranium.
That is what's knocking around in there.
Thank you so much for coming in, Ross. It's always a joy. See you next time.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.